Sooner D. Many holding penalties were called against Kansas State, especially on the kickoff return. No line still inconsistent as well as the secondary is soft. So a lot of things to unpack in that. Yeah, I mean, I think there was one key play where I think it was a fourth down play where Perry Winfrey basically just got tackled. And the referees didn't call anything. So, um, and it wasn't and maybe so on the kickoff return. I was just kind of as I was just so disgusted that Oklahoma really didn't even get a hand on him. No one, I thought it was a great kick by Burkett. 15, um, with the penalty 15 yards back, and he kicks it all the way to about the 7 yard line. So, and just the ease in which he ran that back for a touchdown was a little disappointing, obviously. So, and yeah, O-line's inconsistent. They were historically bad last week. So I think to get from as bad as they were to maybe average, decent today is what you would look for. And I look for that group to get better and better because a lot of it's about miscommunication type things. It's not as much about talent, but it's more about miscommunication. So and you would think that that would get better as time goes on. Jesse Browning, thanks for the comment. Why can't we play a complete game? It's mind boggling, Jesse. I don't, and this is why I said that I believe some of the things that I saw and some of the things that I heard against Tulane is not something that's fixable very quickly. Oklahoma was up by 20 something points in that game, I believe, in the second half, and you've got starters taking off their cleats, just saying, checking themselves out, saying that okay, we're done for the rest of the day. Whether that's a player issue, whether that's a coaching issue, whatever it is, Jesse, I think that's something that doesn't happen overnight. I think that's a culture that's been allowed to happen, through the coaching staff. I don't know if this is something that happened through Bob Stoops' regime as much, but it's certainly a calling card that we're seeing from Lincoln Riley in his 4 years here. I believe that this is his fourth year. At Oklahoma, just the inability to have complete games on both sides of the ball, complementary football, and finishing a game. I think the best you probably would say is I guess Oklahoma State last year. That game 41-13. That was about as complete as a game as they've played in a while. But it's not happening thus far this year. It's not happening. The perfect time, as I mentioned, would be in Red River for that to happen. But and it's always different, right? When you get when you have Red River, it's such a different game. My opinion, the best rivalry in all of college athletics. It's just anybody that's been down there. It's just different. So many times Oklahoma has went into that game with not a whole lot of weaknesses, and they've been exposed in that game. And then there's been a lot of games where Oklahoma has been a substantial favorite in that game, and they've just not played well. And so I don't think Oklahoma's going to be a substantial favorite. These two teams are even. I would probably at this point, just the way that both teams have played this year, how much Texas has rebounded and played much better since that loss to Arkansas. Um, I would probably say that Oklahoma will be anywhere from a 3 to a 5 point favorite in this game, maybe even up to maybe 6 or 7. But um, I think it's tough to call right now. I think Texas is playing better than Oklahoma on both sides of the ball. So they will have to play a complete game to come out of the Cotton Bowl 6-0. Yeah, I think they'll definitely need Stutzman. I was hopeful that he might play. Didn't hear a whole lot about him earlier in the week, but it would be nice if they could have Stetson and DTY both back, um, both back for Red River. Absolutely. CE, keep this team away from the playoffs, and SEC till we figure this out. Playoffs, yes, the SEC's. I mean, the SEC is inevitable, so it's going to happen. I think it might be a year. I think from something that I've heard today was that um, was that it's likely 2023 till Oklahoma goes to the SEC. So they got a year or so to figure that out. But yeah, the way this team is playing right now, I wouldn't want to see them sneak into the playoffs. I mean, by and large, because of how they probably would get beat pretty soundly by either Alabama or Georgia. Kind of looking at that. Although, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, you've got Cincinnati that is, with their 2 wins, I think it's going to be hard to keep them out of the playoffs, and there's going to be a lot of sentiment to get them into the playoffs if they continue to play well. So, a lot of season to play yet to even start considering playoffs. But yeah, I think that's something that Oklahoma's not really in a good position for right now, the way they're playing.